Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some friend feuds turned nasty in 10 seconds or less. All of these stories are from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. One of these ended up on Best of Redditor updates. I'm just so proud. I'm so proud. So this story is from Absent-Minded Author. And it's not an Am I the A-hole, but we're gonna do it as an Am I the A-hole. Am I the A-hole for ending my friendship because of a friend's Am I the a-hole for ending a friendship because of a friend's vegan wife? I know I'm partially at fault for the friendship ending, and I'm willing to accept my judgment. And it's a really long story. Sorry. Never apologize. I like them long. I like them chunky.
Good job, Mikey.
November of last year, I, female, went to visit a friend, we'll call him Kevin, and stayed at his and his wife's house. Early last year, Kevin and his wife, we'll call her Karen, moved a couple states away. For context, we are all over the age of 35, and Kevin and I were part of a friend group from an old job. Another couple from the friend group went on this trip as well, but they were also visiting family and stayed with them. Prior to the move, our friend group didn't really have much interaction with Karen, as she didn't really come to spend time with us. She was always invited, she just rarely joined. They never hosted us at their old house. They are vegan. I am not. Well, Kevin is not a full-fledged vegan, as he eats fish. However, his wife does the grocery shopping, so everything outside of fish is vegan, and he eats and drinks it. He buys his own fish and has a mini kitchen to prep his own meals away from hers. Oh, that's a lot. Like, I'm sorry, that is a lot. I don't know if I could ever be vegan, honestly. Like, I know it's probably better for the planet and stuff. You know, one thing that I really could not give up? Crab. God, I love crab. Ain't nothing like an Alaskan king crab with butter sauce. I'm telling you, it is delish. And steak. Really nice filet mignon or a Wagyu. Oof. For even more context, Karen's not a vegan for health reasons. She's the type that brings their vegan status with every conversation, no matter how irrelevant it is to the topic, making fun of people that eat meat or use things made with animal byproducts. She accuses people of murder, etc. Except she leaves Kevin alone. She calls any food that is not vegan trash and garbage. Example, when we would hang out before they moved as she was there, she would always ask people how they could eat such garbage anytime any of us would have meat. It was annoying, but I never got confrontational about it. Just to be clear, if you want to be a vegan, by all means, be a vegan. If you think that's right for you, for your health, for the planet, by all means do it. It's the vegans that really, really push the ideology on other people and make them feel bad about it. Some of us can't be vegans, okay? Some of us just can't for our health. And I know of a few people who have been vegan and then their doctors advise them to stop being vegan, okay? So every person is different. Let's stop shaming people about it.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
The day before I visited them, Karen sent a short list of rules that I had to follow regarding food. One of those rules was I couldn't store any non-vegan food items in either kitchen. I did ask if I could bring milk and she agreed, but I had to keep it in the fish fridge. It's just interesting because even most wine is not vegan. You know that, right? Like you have to get a very specific type of, there's animal byproducts in most wines. It's just a little difficult, you know? I think that we gotta be a little more understanding. All the food I ate at their house tasted off. Even the breakfast waffles and the tuna casserole that Kevin made for the two of us Saturday afternoon for lunch. It's not like it tasted spoiled, it was just off. Weird. A little gross. I've never eaten vegan, so I figured it was just that. Food made with vegan ingredients. I couldn't really eat anything after a few bites. I had, fortunately, packed a few protein, non-vegan, snacks that I kept in my room, inside a zippered canvas bag, at the bottom of my suitcase. I was not specifically prohibited from bringing snacks to keep in my room. I kept my trash and disposed of it after I left. I did eat some street food from the market Kevin, and our friends went to Saturday after lunch, and I ate like a horse at the restaurant we went to that Saturday night. And I'm not ashamed. Well, horses are vegan, so are they? I don't know. My husband and I are supposed to be going to visit them this weekend, and Karen called me a couple of hours ago. She wanted to tell me that I wouldn't be allowed to bring any milk this time around. She also said that my husband and I couldn't bring any snacks, and I should have asked last time. Okay, you're entitled to your own choices, okay? You're entitled to eat what you want, to believe what you believe, but please do not try and force those beliefs on other people, okay? Just point blank. Apparently, she'd gone through my suitcase when Kevin and I and our friends were out at the market and found my snacks. Oh, absolutely not. That, in my opinion, is a far worse transgression than you eating a snack. In addition to that, she also told me she replaced my milk with almond milk and thought that that was just hilarious. So she's doing things without your permission, but she expects you to ask for her permission about pretty much anything you consume.
I mean, when you put it like that.
I drank some milk Friday night before bed and 1 glass on Saturday morning. Then Kevin told me he used it to make our waffles and wanted to save the rest for casserole at lunch. What actually happened was that I poured my glass Saturday morning before breakfast. Karen dumped out the rest of it and replaced it with almond milk. Kevin knew but didn't tell me. I never went to look for it because he said he wanted to save it. The waffles and casserole were made with almond milk. Yeah, that would taste a little funny, I'm not gonna lie. It would taste different. I was so mad that I knew I wouldn't be able to say anything nice. I told her I had another call coming in and hung up. After I calmed down, I called her back and asked why she went through my suitcase and why she dumped my milk. She told me it was her house and she had a right to know. No, you're not. Just because someone is staying in your house, that does not give you the right to go through their stuff. I'm sorry. It doesn't. So that's why she was allowed to go through my things. No, you're Delulu. You're drinking the Delulu vegan lemonade. She said she dumped my milk because nobody can tell the difference between cow's milk and almond milk, and I wouldn't have known if she hadn't told me.
Show me the tit on an almond.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can tell the difference between cow milk and almond milk. There is a very, very big difference in taste. I called her a controlling, self-centered freak. I told her that Kevin has a stash of real cheese hidden in the fish fridge and he sneaks it into his food, and hung up on her. Ooh. Then I called Kevin. He sided with her and told me that I pushed the line when I asked to bring milk, but she agreed. And it was incredibly rude to order meat when we went to dinner. No, it's not. You know what I think is incredibly rude? Telling people that what they're eating is disgusting and trash. We argued and I told him it seems like our lives are going in different directions and we don't need to be friends anymore. I know I probably should have asked if it was okay to have non-vegan snacks. Stop it.
Get some help.
Or I could have kept them in my car. She still would have found that annoying. She's mad that you went to a restaurant and ordered meat. She's trying to get you to be a vegan. That's what she's trying to do. Maybe her heart's in the right place, right? She really maybe fully believes that this is what everybody should be doing. But you can't. It's kind of like pushing religion on someone. If they want to become a vegan, then that's their choice. And certainly not guilt tripping and insulting people is not the way to get people to come to your side. In fact, it's what kind of turns people off, if I'm being quite honest. I also shouldn't have called her names. I was a guest at their house and Kevin has me half convinced that as a guest, I should have respected Karen's veganism and not had any non-vegan food at all. I think that she should have also apologized for going through your stuff. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think that's a silly thing to be mad about. I think that she's just making problems out of nothing. My husband thinks they're completely in the wrong and that since their lifestyle is not one of the majority of the population follows, they should have made exceptions since Kevin gets a fish exception. That's the other thing too, right? It's Kevin is allowed to consume fish. He's eating fish. He's eating cheese. He's sneaking it. He doesn't have the right to tell you that you should be respectful of Karen's vegan choices. It's a double standard for sure. He's also as pissed as I am that she went through my stuff. And he also pointed out that if I was allergic to almonds, I could have gotten very ill. Ooh, I also had this thought as well. Not everybody can make vegan choices. Some people are allergic to
These nuts.
and that's where, a lot of vegans get their protein from. It's not realistic for some people, which is why you're entitled to make your choices. Don't try and force that on the majority of the population because it's gonna fall on deaf ears. He says I'm better off and thinks ending the friendship was reasonable. He and Kevin got along, but just like Karen, my husband is a spouse of someone in the friend group, so they weren't really close. A few minutes ago, I got the "Hey, can we talk" text, and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to respond. I'm kind of just done with it. So are you the a-hole for ending a friendship because of a friend's vegan wife? I don't think that you're ending a friendship because she's vegan. I think you're ending a friendship because she invaded your privacy. She guilt trips you and insults you and makes it really difficult for you to be around her. I don't think that you're ending the friendship because she's a vegan. I think it's everything surrounding the vegan. Going through your suitcase because it's her house. I don't even go into my guest room when I have guests because I want to respect their privacy. She's a nutty control freak. Literally, what if you had some saucy things in your suitcase that you didn't want anyone to see? What if you had medication in there that you didn't want anyone to see? No, absolutely not, no. Honestly, I would have gone over just one more time and packed my suitcase with the most bizarre things I could think of. Big, scary things that we can't say on YouTube. Whips and oh, can't say that on YouTube either. Just to round it out, I'd make sure everything was unwrapped but lightly covered with enough clothes that she'd have to dig for it and grip her hands around things before realizing what it was, just to prove a point, which is, don't go through people's personal belongings, you absolute monster. There's nothing wrong with normal vegans. Let's just state that, okay? But militant vegans are literally some of the worst people on the planet. How can you be fine with fish, which has a face, and freak out about milk or honey? Pick a lane, lady. Also, Kevin saying it was disrespectful to bring milk but act like it was okay at first. He's honestly awful too. There's no need for people like that in your life. Agreed, wholeheartedly. So we do have an update. The serotonin that gets released in my brain when I see we have an update. This is a long update, but it's the last one. First, thank you to everyone who responded. Your comments were not only helpful, but others made me cackle in a very unladylike manner. Looking at you, presentation that 2839. Secondly, I wanted to clarify that the bag Karen found in my suitcase had emergency cash and a credit card in it as well as snacks. The reason it was hidden in my suitcase was to keep it safe, not to hide food. I wasn't sneaking it in, important later, but I did have protein bars in there just in case I took issue with their food. Naughty me, you bad girl. You bad, bad, bad girl.
Is it getting hot in here?
I responded to Kevin yesterday and told him I needed some time to think and I'd get back to him today. I took some of your advice and reached out to our friend group last night. After the group chat, and also just talking with friends that were down that weekend, I learned some things. Ooh, we moved in the shadows. We got some intel. I love that for you. Because like, it's always nice to like not know that you're crazy or unreasonable, right? People might say that they're gossiping. What I think gossiping is kind of like gauging as to whether or not something is a pattern with a certain person. If I'm like deciding whether or not to be friends with someone again, I get intel from other people and I try to use that intel to be like, okay, this is clearly an issue with this person and it's not just me being nuts. Because sometimes that happens too. It helps, it's helpful. Long story short, out of our core group of 6, I'm the only one that kept up with Kevin. The only reason those 2 friends accepted Kevin's invitation to go down that weekend was because I was going. Visiting family was a bonus, but that they also stayed somewhere else. After I took the rest of the night to think about and sleep on it, I realized all of you are right about Kevin's complicity regarding the switching of the milk. I didn't pay much attention as I should have because I was so focused on the fact that Karen switched the milk to begin with. I also realized he never actually said anything in response to my telling him that Karen confessed to going through my stuff when I called him yesterday. He changed the subject instead, talking about how it was rude to ask to bring milk. But like, that was an invasion of privacy. I mean, you're asking if something is okay. Rude to ask? Is it like Voldemort now that we're not even allowed to mention milk around this person? How dare you say that word? How dare you steal that car, Ron Weasley?
You put your name in the goblet of fire.
Is that what we're dealing with? Because it kind of sounds like it. Anyways, I called Kevin on my lunch break today and ran down the list of issues. Karen going through my suitcase, him not telling me about the milk switch, Karen switching the milk to begin with after telling me I could bring it, and how what I eat is none of their business as long as I'm not contaminating their food. Basically, he told me the only thing he would apologize for was saying it was rude to order non-vegan food at the restaurant. He said since they had plenty of food in the house for me to eat, he didn't have to apologize for anything else. Yeah, you're gonna need to like not be friends with this person anymore. They kind of suck. I don't like them. They're kind of mean. Apparently Karen had told him not to tell me about the milk switch because she was trying to prove that I couldn't tell the difference between vegan and non-vegan food. Essentially the same thing she said to me yesterday. I told him since I didn't eat any of it except a few bites, clearly I could tell the difference. It was nasty. He also said that he was eventually going to tell me about it, but forgot. I said that she could have just said no when I asked to bring milk instead of being a swampy butthole about it. It's so easy to just not be a swampy butthole. The last thing he told me that the other reason I wasn't getting an apology from him was because after I told Karen about his cheese stash yesterday, she unplugged his fish fridge. So she like ruined all the fish is what you're saying. He didn't get home from work until late, and according to his Google search, all the refrigerated fish had to be thrown away. This is apparently my fault. Buddy, you're whipped. You're literally whipped. This woman is trying to control what you eat, bro. This is cray-cray. He said that we were even now. He didn't tell me much about the milk switch, and I snitched about his cheese. I tried explaining that they weren't the same thing and I wasn't responsible for what she did, but he didn't care. Said he knew I wasn't allergic to nuts. I don't remember ever discussing that with him, but whatever. Oh, he dogging shit, eh? I asked if he truly believed that I didn't deserve any apologies from either of them, and he said yes. I told him if he couldn't see why what they did was wrong and apologize, I couldn't help him, and to give me a call when he got his balls back from his wife. He hung up on me. You're not wrong. It needed to be said. Yesterday, I thought I owed him an apology because I was wrong. I thought if we gave him one, we could maintain a friendship. Today, I think the problem was I was holding on to something that didn't exist anymore. Yeah, clearly things have changed. If they want to live in their little vegan bubble, by all means, go ahead, let them and do it. But like, it just seems like your values do not align, and that's totally fine. Just because you've known him for a long time does not mean you have to remain friends. Until you guys reality checked me, I ignored a lot of things and gaslit myself. So thank you everybody for the smack to the back of the head. Everybody should have people like you in their lives. Thanks for reading. Oh, that is so sweet.
I'm so glad you're supportive of it. I'm just so supportive of the people that ask you for help. It's so nice.
He can't have balls in the house. They're not vegan. Neither is a backbone, apparently. What a total freaking weirdo. It's just weird, you know? Like, why can't people just not be weird? Just, you weird. You a weird ass is what you are. I'm particularly petty, so I would have actually said to him, call me for your next wedding. Call me when you get divorced. Literally, this is heading straight for divorce, I swear to God. He's absolutely in the wrong for what he did to you, but I also feel for him in some small measure, as it's clear by the wife deliberately spoiling his food that his wife is emotionally and physically abusive toward him. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. He doesn't see it right now, but he will. To be clear, it's not your responsibility. It isn't. Like, you've done your best. These are just telltale signs that this relationship is not going to work out. So are you the a-hole for ending a friendship because of a friend's vegan wife? Well, absolutely not. God, I made a dent in the desk with that one. Am I the a-hole for telling one of my friends that I don't care how she feels about my husband? I, female 24, and my husband, male 26, got married just over a month ago in the best wedding I could have ever asked for. And one of my good friends, let's call her L, female 23, had a little issue with it. A little issue for a tissue. Elle and I have been friends since we were 3 and 4, and our sisters danced together at the same studio. I met my now husband when I was 10 at an audition for a musical and have been head over heels in love with him since I was 12, even though our story is a bit complicated. My husband and I had a situationship in our early teens and went on a few dates before we cut it off, due to us being a bit busy in our personal lives. But a week or so after we ended things, Elle asked him to prom with her. Come again?
He sure did.
I was angry at her at first, but I quickly got over it after I realized if it wasn't me, I'm glad she could be happy with him. The two never actually dated, but she did like him, even though he didn't feel the same way, and mostly went to prom with her because his best friend was Elle's brother. My husband and I started dating again when I turned 17, and we've been together ever since. I invited Elle to my wedding, even though we weren't as close as we used to be. I was just happy to have all my friends and family there with me on such a special day. Yeah, I bet Elle wasn't too happy about that. I'm just saying. Isn't it funny how people can go and like not steal, but you know, like kind of just like swoop in there and they think it's fine when they do it, but when you do it, it's like, that's my job. After the initial ceremony, Elle came up to me at the reception when I was getting a drink from busting all my sick moves on the dance floor. I expected a congratulations from her to tell me she was happy for the two of us, but instead, she told me I shouldn't have married him because she dated him first. Did she though? I don't think she did, darling. I think that's actually not true. I think she got your sloppy seconds, actually. I didn't really think I'd heard her right, and I asked what she meant, prompting her to go on a rant about girl code. Oh, girl code. Well, you didn't seem to think that was too important when you started dating someone right after I dated them. And how she had him first. No, she didn't. And thought it should have been her that had gotten married to him instead of me. Well, it wasn't, now was it? Why didn't he choose you then? I was flabbergasted, and I took a moment to compose myself before telling her I didn't care how she felt about it. I was in love with my husband, and right now her feelings didn't matter. The fact that she did this at your wedding, my goodness. He was my husband, and she couldn't change that. You know, you got a nice little piece of paper right there that says you're married officially. She was just trying to ruin your day. I would have kicked her out, honestly. Sorry, you can leave now. Security!
What the hell is going on?
I did feel bad about how harsh I was to her when she left the wedding, and even her parents texted me that I was a bad friend for what I did to her. Shut up. Am I the a-hole for telling her feelings didn't matter? No, they don't. She came up to you at your wedding and told you that she saw him first. Update. I talked to my husband yesterday after I posted this. Turns out his best friend, Elle's brother, told him that Elle didn't actually want to go to our wedding because she didn't think it was fair I was marrying him. She only told me about her feelings because her parents told her that she should shoot her shot with hubby. No wonder. My goodness. Shoot her shot at a wedding. Throw the whole family away. You're cray-cray. You're all drinking the Delulu lemonade. All right, I already know how I feel about this, but let's stroll down into the comments, shall we? Good on you. What a jerk move to tell that to any bride on her day. This is what I'm saying. It's like, if you felt that way, you shouldn't have gone. And I think it's interesting that she went and told the bride that. Like, what were you trying to achieve? You're trying to guilt trip someone that you're not even friends with anymore. Well, what did you expect her to do? After the wedding, you know, you literally just signed the nuptials, did the ceremony, paid for the wedding. Some girl comes up to you and is like, I had him first. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me just rip up the marriage certificate. Babe, just so you know, I can't marry you. This is off. The whole wedding is off. She said that she saw you first. I actually saw you first, but she says that I shouldn't have married you because she wants you. So we're just not gonna be married anymore. I'm sorry. This is me divorcing you. I beg your finest pardon. But then the other thing is, like, you didn't also go to the groom. You never told him how you felt, clearly. You waited for someone else's wedding to try and sabotage a relationship. Let's just be clear here. Let's not be shooting any shots at the bride and groom at their wedding day. Actually, you had him first. If girl code doesn't matter, then why does it matter now? It's been 7 years and she needs to move on. I would tell your husband and watch her. I wouldn't trust her going forward. Yeah, safe to say she's not gonna get invited to the barbecue. I'm sorry, girl code? By her logic, she ignored girl code by going to prom with him after you dated, and a week after they dated too. Also, who says that to someone on their wedding day? A delusional B word. She has no manners, and the next time her parents call, remind them they did a poor job of raising her. She sounds obsessed with your hubs. Time for a block party. Block party! Let's throw a block party! Congrats and have a happy marriage. Yes, have a very happy marriage. Not the a-hole by all rights. He was yours first, and she moved in on him, breaking girl code and asking him to prom. Yeah, they didn't even date. They just like went to prom together. I feel like people like go to like prom with like their brothers. And she waits to tell you her feelings after you married him. I would have kicked her butt out. She's not your friend. Tell your husband what happened, and both of you should keep clear of her. Given the chance, she will move in on him again. You just know that when you were younger, she was waiting in the wings for you two to not work out so she could move in on him. I have no doubt that she'd do the same now. She would. She absolutely would. Let's not pretend that we have morals when she was waiting for her chance the whole time. Didn't matter that you guys were friends. So, are you the a-hole for telling one of your friends that you don't care how she feels about your husband? Absolutely not. Subscribe!